Good, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are kicking off this year's weeks of welcome with a topic on mentoring in the LearnTwice program. This morning, Corey and oh my goodness, Andrea, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second, are going to be presenting to you all on this topic. So I'm going to hand it over and they are going to be talking to you guys. All of this is located in your officer's toolbox. Do you guys know where that's located? In the officer's toolbox? You don't, correct?
No.
So do you mind if I show them where that is real quick? So I'm just going to show you where all this is located. We have put together a toolkit for you guys where all this is. Well, actually, it's in the mentoring program is actually in Member Connection, or Connection Plus. So actually, you guys will probably show them where that's located. So I don't need to do that for you. So you guys will go through that in the presentation. So why don't I let you guys kick that off, and they'll run you through all that. So thank you guys for doing this for them this morning. And if you guys have any questions for me afterwards, they will pass that information along, but they're more than capable of answering questions that you have. You can do that in the chat. And thank you guys again for taking care of this for us.
All right, thanks, Nicole. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, nice and early. I hope everyone's had their coffee. I have not yet. My name is Corey Dillon. I am the Community Program Specialist here at SAE. So that means that I oversee our mentor program as well as Connection Plus, which is our online discussion forum. Hopefully, most of you are familiar with that. All right, so let's get started. And then after I'm done, Andrea will take it over. All right, so if you don't know what the mentor program is, it's our online mentoring program for both student and professional SAE members. This program allows you to connect with other members from across different companies, different sectors, so the automotive, aero, and CV, as well as, across the country, around the world. So you have access to a wide array of members. I mean, we are a very diverse organization, which I think makes us pretty unique from other associations. This program is pretty great because it allows you to personalize your preferences. So, you fill out your profile and, you choose how you want to be matched. So if you want to match yourself, you want to go out, find a mentor, you can go through our little bank and say, hey, I'd like to be mentored by you. Or you can choose the admin match, which means that the admin, me, is going to match you based off of the criteria in your profile. So if your preferences are, you want to be matched with someone in the automotive sector, you want to focus on, vehicle performance, and you want to work on project management skills, we're going to try to find you the closest match, matching all of those things that you need. And another nice thing about this program is that, it recommends steps for you to take. So you have a mentoring connection plan. So, it recommends, okay, hey, it's time to set up your first meeting with your mentor, or this is the time where you should talk about goals and planning and timelines for all the things you want to accomplish in your 3-month connection with your mentor. You don't have to follow these steps, but I think they're a nice little guideline for you in case you kind of don't know where to start. And then we actually are just going to be adding training modules to the mentoring program. So these are things about like how to be a mentor, how to be a mentee, what things you need to do to prepare for this mentoring relationship, because there is a little bit of planning that has to be done. You have to come in with some goals, with mindset, with things you want to accomplish with your mentor/mentee. So those will be available, I would say, within the next week or so. So be on the lookout. All right, so how to get started. It's really easy. You can either download the Cronus mobile app in your phone, whichever kind of phone you use, or you can go to saementorprogram.cronus.com. And the login, we made that really easy for you. We know that everyone has way too many usernames and passwords, so we connected our SAE login, or it's called your My SAE login, to make a single sign-on for you. So if you don't remember that password, you can email our customer service, SAE, at SAE here, and they can help you reset that password. And then, final step, you complete and publish your profile. So you add a little bit about yourself, where you went to school, your current job you have, your interests, your technical interests, your leadership skills, all those things, and then you publish that profile. So for any students who might be watching, or if you know any students, if you complete all of these steps by the end of this month, September, you'll be entered into a drawing for one of 5 $50 Amazon gift cards. So those winners will be announced at the beginning of October, which is only a few short weeks away. All right, so as you all hopefully know, our 2022 SAE president, Sri Srinath, has made mentoring one of his presidential focus areas. Mentoring is very important to him. He's very passionate about it. So he has a message to share with students. Well, not just students, I think, but I think this is a great message for all of us and how to kind of manage our time to fit mentoring in. I know everybody is busy with 5 million different things going on, but he has a nice message here.
So here, this is a good, I think, student-related question. One of the things that we hear a lot about is how busy they are with coursework. Obviously, engineering is a very intense degree to pursue. So, we've gotten a lot of questions about how do they make time to even add mentoring into their schedules? What is your advice on some time management when students say they're just too busy?
Well, a couple of thoughts come to mind. The first thing is if you come right down and think about it, it's maybe if you spend 1 hour with a mentor in a month, right? And you spend maybe an hour preparing. It's 2 hours a month, and hopefully you're doing some mentoring as well. So it's 4, whatever it is, right? An hour a week. Think of it as an hour a week. Yes, it's a time commitment, especially if you're an engineering student, your time is very tight. I'm not going to downplay the importance. The second thing it kind of brings back, I think it was some kind of time management course that I went to way back in my career, where the coach gave us an exercise. He gave us a bottle that had a lot of sand in it. And they gave us a bunch of rocks and asked us to put the rocks into the bottle. And of course, we were all trying to push it and jam it in, and it didn't work. And then what they did was they took all the sand out of the bottle, put the rocks in first, and then they put the sand in, and then you could get it all in. It was a very important exercise that fixed the idea of what are the rocks in your life? What are the things that you want to make time for? From a time management perspective, if mentoring is important, if it's a rock, then you'll find a way to make time for it. If it's just a piece of, a grain of sand, then it's not important to you. So to some extent, how important is it to you? If it is important to you, you will also find a way to make time for it if you think of it as something that's critical to your growth.
All right, so Sri had some really great advice there. If you prioritize mentoring, if it's going to be something that's important to you for your growth as a student, as a professional, as a person, you'll make time. We all, again, are very busy, and I know especially students, you're balancing classwork and you're balancing your clubs and your just regular everyday life. But, if it's something that you want to participate in, as he said with the rocks, you'll find a way to fit them in to all the other things in life. Speaking of Sri, he is actually hosting an online mentor chat on the importance of mentoring, September 26th and 27th in Connection Plus. If you don't know what Connection Plus is, that is our online discussion forum for SAE members, both students and professionals. And we host these chats about once a month or every other month, just to, talk about certain mentoring topics or technical topics. And we usually have a host or an expert, leading the discussion. So they provide these starter questions for you to kind of get the conversation started. And Sri has provided as you see, 5 questions there that you can answer. You can answer one, you can answer all of them. But I'm sure he'd love to hear your perspectives on mentoring, hearing about your own mentoring experiences, or he'd love to answer any of the questions that you might have. So you can join that again at connectionplus.sae.org. I think that the URL was just shared in the chat, so you can head there anytime. And then also that's where you can find out more about our mentor program. You can see that super long URL there, but I think you should find it on the navigation screen at the top. Again, the login that you'll use for connectionplus.sae.org is, again, your SAE login. So we make that nice and easy for you, just using that single sign-on, so you don't have to have, again, 5 million different passwords. So, yeah, but I think that's all for me. So any questions from anybody? There are no questions. If something pops up later, you can email me, corey.dillon@sae.org. And I hope to hear from some of you in the chat. I know that Sri will be looking forward to hearing from any and all of you. Okay. And I will pass it on over then to Andrea if there are no questions.
All right. Thank you, Corey. And again, thank you everyone for joining us this morning. My name is Andrea Ivanko. I have been with SAE for about 6 years now. Earlier this year, I bumped over to University Programs team to manage the development of a new entry-level autonomous vehicle competition. We're expecting that to launch in spring of 2024. Prior to that, I was working with our K-8 A World in Motion program. So the program I'm going to talk to you about today, LearnTwice, kind of bridges the gap between our younger students with A World in Motion and then our university programs. So what is LearnTwice? LearnTwice is a mentorship program. It's a way for our university students to give back to our younger students, ranging all the way from preschool up through the high school level. And this program is open to all university teams that are participating in one of our collegiate events. So whether that be Formula SAE, Auto Drive, it's open to anyone that's actively registered. So technically right now, no teams are eligible because the 2023 registration isn't until next week. But once registration happens, this is an opportunity you can advertise to any team that is actively participating. These are just some benefits for the program. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but I do want to focus a little bit on the benefits for you. And the you in this case would be the university students that are participating. So a lot of times universities have community service hour requirements, and this is a great program that can help those students reach that requirement. Another great piece is when they're in the classrooms, they're sharing their experience. The best way to learn and where the name of the program came from, LearnTwice. The best way to learn is to actually teach. If you can teach something, it proves that you truly understand it. And also it helps build connections in the community. And last but not least, the piece at the bottom, this is probably the biggest incentive for a lot of our teams. Teams that participate are eligible to receive a $1,500 stipend towards any SAE competition expenses, whether that be travel expenses or purchasing materials to build their vehicles, software, whatever they may need. Here is a little bit of a rundown on how the program actually works. So when our teams get started, we actually ask them to do the recruitment and actually reach out to a local classroom. Again, we are expanding the program a bit in the past. The LearnTwice program has been kind of limited to our A World in Motion classrooms, which was primarily preschool through 8th grade. This year, we're actually expanding the program up through high school, and that allows teams to make connections with different STEM clubs, different electives in the high school. So we're trying to broaden our audience and really hit that whole STEM pipeline with LearnTwice this year. So once they have a school to participate, if they choose in A World in Motion classroom, our team will step in and actually send out all of the materials, provide training. The training can be for both the university students and the participating teacher, or just the teacher, whatever the team prefers. But in that training, the A World in Motion staff will step in and kind of get everyone familiar with the materials, with the curriculum that's provided, to try and make it as easy as possible to get these programs up and running. If you're not familiar with A World in Motion, Elizabeth Simon from the AWIM team is actually hosting a session at noon today. So that's another session you can join. She's going to talk about how sections and chapters can get involved with A World in Motion. So obviously, once they have everything in place, they're going to actually go into the classrooms. If in-person visits are an issue, we do offer virtual visits if needed to allow teams some flexibility. But currently, we're asking teams to log a total of 30 volunteer hours. Reaching those volunteer hours, they do have some flexibility. For example, if they have 4 team members visiting a single class session for an hour, that would give them a total of 4 hours for that day. So they do get credit for each team member that is present. If only one team member goes for an hour, that's only 1 single hour. They will log their hours, and then once they've hit that 30 hours, they will receive that $1,500 stipend. So also new this year, we have launched a new online system that is incorporated into CDS Web. So for the competitions, everything that students need is in their competition-specific website. We've incorporated a LearnTwice module into that to handle everything from registration through reimbursement. In the past, we kind of did everything through email, and that got a little tricky. So this new system is really designed to streamline everything and make it easier to get started, get involved, find more information. So if teams are interested, have them log onto their CDS website. They will see a LearnTwice link. It's pretty small, but in that circle, in that main team member menu, there will be a LearnTwice button. They simply click there, and you'll see on the next screen what pops up when they click that. So when they click on that button, go ahead to the next slide, Corey. Thank you. They will get a quick overview of the program. It tells them exactly how to participate step by step. And the key piece here at the bottom under questions, there is a box that says registration order number. That is where they're going to put their registration number that comes on their invoice once they are registered. Again, teams cannot register until they are actively registered for one of our collegiate events. So once they have that invoice, after registration, which starts next week, they can go ahead and get started as soon as they're ready. Once they put that in, they click the next button or whatever the blue button says, and it will take them to a registration page where they will input information on the school they are participating with and really get the process started. Once that registration is approved, they'll log their hours in the system. And again, once they hit that 30-hour requirement, they'll be prompted to download a form that will help us get them that $1,500 stipend. And that was pretty much it, a quick overview of LearnTwice. If you have any questions at all, I do see a question. Let me get out of full screen. So the question is a listing of current AWIM classrooms available to section and chapter leaders? So that gets a little bit tricky. If you do have a particular question, I can connect you with the AWIM team. Unfortunately, due to different privacy laws and things, we can't send out a list. But if you're interested on seeing if there's AWIM activity up and running in your area, we can definitely give you that information, and we can reach out to the teacher and ask if we can. So the roundabout answer is yes, we can get you that information. And again, if you're interested in learning more about A World in Motion in general, Elizabeth is hosting that session at noon today. I recommend you join that. If you can't join that session, there will be a recording available as well. Any other questions? And there you can see in the chat box, that is my email, andrea.ivanko@SAE.org. If you have any LearnTwice related questions, or if you have an AWIM related question, I can most likely answer that for you as well.
All right. Going once and twice. If there are no additional questions, I think most of you are familiar with either or both of us, so you know how to reach us. And again, hope to see some of your participation in the mentor chat on the 26th and 27th later this month. And again, I know Sri will welcome any input or questions from everyone. Okay. All right, if that is all, then you can get 8 minutes back in your time, or maybe more. I think this was supposed to go till 10, but
Yeah.
We're
just very efficient.
Exactly. We like to be right to the point. So then you actually get 38 minutes back. So
Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.